from Oklahoma all the way to Toronto. We got Corey Kent with us. How's it going, Corey?
What's up, guys? I'm excited to be here. First trip to Canada.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask. I was digging through the archives. I couldn't find any evidence of you ever being here.
Nope, it's the first time.
First impressions?
So far, it's been great. I've been to, this last year is my first year ever really to leave the United States. So I've been to Italy, and I've been to Australia, and I've been to London, and now Canada. And I would say, like, this is the easiest transition, right? Like, there's not, like, the language barriers, or it feels like a cleaner U.S. city.
Oh, okay. Any Canadian stereotypes that you've kind of seen in action and have found to be true?
I've heard a lot of A's.
Yeah.
I've heard the, like I say outside. You guys say like outside.
Yeah. I'll wear that for sure.
I'm trying to think of like stereotypes though. No, I mean.
You haven't seen anyone playing hockey in the streets or anything like that?
No, nothing yet. Although that would be pretty rad. I am a new hockey fan.
Really?
Yeah. Growing up in Oklahoma, there's no hockey.
Yeah.
My wife and I moved to Nashville and lived downtown, and this was 2017, and one of our buddies worked for the Preds.
Yeah.
And so he started giving us free tickets. Well, it just so happened to be the year they went all the way to the finals.
Oh, okay.
So we were like just learning the sport, really. And then our hearts just got tangled up with this team and watched the whole ride. It was just amazing. So now we're hockey fans. We live in Texas now, which makes us Dallas Stars fans.
Nice. Exciting summer for them.
Yeah, I'm just loving hockey in general. So it's cool to, be where it kind of originated. So
it feels like I feel like if more people knew about hockey in the States, like more football fans in the States knew about hockey, they'd be obsessed with it. It's perfectly violent, like it's kind of gentlemanly.
It might be more violent than American football now. It's just there's so many rules protecting the players now, which is a great thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Yeah. I'm just saying it used to be tougher. And I think hockey and rugby might take the cake in the toughest sports now. So.
Yeah.
Well, and obviously like UFC and fighting and all that stuff. But.
Yeah. But you are a big football guy, right?
Yeah. I would say that growing up, it's always been my favorite sport. But recently, I feel like the band and I are like huge into like boxing and UFC fighting. So
yeah, there's so much like drama and showbiz around it too. It's easy to get pulled into it.
It's so good. Well, and I grew up in Oklahoma, and it's a huge wrestling state.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oklahoma, Iowa, Pennsylvania, Minnesota. Like those 4 states are massive wrestling states. And so I kind of grew up with that background, and that's part of like my high school sport journey and whatever. So then there is no professional wrestling. I mean, there is on TV, but there's no actual professional league that exists. And so UFC is like the closest thing. And so we just love it. Also, it's just, I think, the most like barbaric and primal sport we have, and it's just kind of, there's something that you can't look away from when two guys are punching each other in the face. So
yeah,
I don't know. We buy like every fight we can on the bus now, so we love it.
I actually feel like some good music came out during COVID. Was there anything that came out during that era that you're like, oh, this wouldn't have happened without this pause? This good stuff. I'm kind of a Swiftie. I think Taylor Swift folklore. That's some art that came out during that period. I don't know if we would have gotten.
I feel like I don't have anything that like stands out as a COVID era record that I just loved. But yeah, I mean, I think there's been a lot of good, like artists got really reflective, like introspective, because you're sitting there alone with your thoughts for so long. Like I do think it's been good for like the creation of art, and my girls are huge Taylor Swift fans. I got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old little girl, and then my little boy who doesn't know anything about Taylor Swift, but he's 1. We'll give him a break.
Yeah.
They love Taylor Swift, and I will say this, that by the end of COVID, I knew every word. My girls knew every word to the entire Lover record.
So good.
And I knew every word to the entire Lover record, but I didn't even know what the names of the songs were.
You just knew all the words.
I had heard, my 2-year-old little girl's going, "Dad, play Lover." It's just such a funny thing, but it's just cool that they're gravitating towards like what I would consider good music too.
Yeah.
it's stuff that I don't mind listening to. I would never have probably picked it out of a lineup, but they made me an accidental like Taylor Swift fan. So that is definitely like, I know that record didn't come out during COVID, but that is one that we
Yeah.
blew up, during that time frame. And then I was actually excited whenever her Midnight record came out, because I was on the bandwagon by that point. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you've picked up from being a girl dad that you didn't expect before?
I mean, I'm wearing stuff like this,
That's pretty
They
cute, I
made
won't
me-
lie.
They made me a bracelet
What's
the
it
other
say?
day.
Is it all their
It's
initials?
got their initials on
Aw, that's so
Um,
cute.
it. They made sure to put some smiley faces on it,
Nice.
some pink. Yeah, I mainly just like, I knew probably the least amount about girls.
Yeah.
Like, after I got married, I was like, oh, there's like, I
No
didn't
sisters or
realize there's
anything?
like 17 different types of bras. Like, I'm just like, I thought there was like one with straps and one was without straps. And so for me to become a girl dad was like comical. I didn't know how to like do a ponytail or braid hair or any of that stuff. And now I'm like, yeah, you can paint my nails, whatever. Like,
That's amazing.
It's been great. It's made me way more sensitive. Like, I realized that I can talk pretty like stern, but not realize that I am. And so I'm just like, no, you can't do that. And then my little girls would get the big puppy dog eyes and like they start watering, and I'm
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I scared you. I'm so sorry. I'm not mad. Like, I got to really watch how I talk now,
Yeah.
And it's just made me way more like sympathetic, and I just love my relationship with my girls so much that when we never found out if we were having a boy or a girl. Like, it's always been delivery date, surprise.
Yeah.
And the third time around, my wife, the day of the delivery, was like, if you could choose boy or girl today, what would you choose? And I was like, girl. And
gang.
that's crazy, because if you would have asked me before we had kids, if you could have all one, either boys or girls, if you could have all boys or all girls, I would have said all boys, because it was like the thing that I knew. I knew
Yeah.
nothing about girls. And then we ended up having a little boy the third time around, and I'm so thankful, because it's like, again, it's just, you don't know what you're missing until you have it, right?
Yep.
But I would have chosen a girl. Like, that's how much I love being a girl dad. And I'm the last guy that you would have expected to be a girl dad. Like,
Yeah.
but I love it.
I feel
It's
like
been
that's
amazing.
how it always goes, kind of.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's usually like all of my buddies that like were wrestlers.
Biggest
or-
hardos, yeah.
Like, just freaking ripped buddies of mine, and they're all and getting in fights, and then they have a girl and they become a softie like us. So, yeah.
What can you do?
You can't. You just get wrapped around their finger. It's
Yeah.
like, it's the truest cliche there is. Like, little girls just wreck grown men.